Good morning children, a warm welcome to the online classes. So by seeing my background video, you must have guessed the topic. I mean the name of the lesson you might have guessed. Yes, it is electricity. Now can you guess where am I? Yes, it is one of the substation in Chennai which is located in Anna Nagar. Right? So totally we have two transformers here. So each transformer has four breakers. These are the breakers. From this breakers only, the supply will be, the current supply will be supplied to each area which is in Anna Nagar. So, the all things we use, it is made up of elements. So, all elements has atoms. So, initially, John Walton is a scientist. He said, all atoms are indivisible and it is smallest in particle. So, later we found that atoms consist of particles like protons, electrons and neutrons. So we are using many appliances in our day-to-day life. So can you all imagine a day without electricity? It is impossible. For example, we are using refrigerator, AC, iron box, TV, home theater, all those things it is working under the principle of electricity. So basically what happens, the movement of electron causes electricity. So this energy only we will call it as electric energy. So with the help of electricity only we can able to run many appliances which we are using in our day-to-day life. So in this electricity lesson we are going to see flow of charges, how charges are being transferred. So we have transfer of charges, flow of charges, series circuit, parallel circuit, lightning arresters and heating effect of electric current. So these are the topics which we are going to cover in the electricity lesson. Children, already I told you we have two transformers. This one is the first transformer and here we have the second transformer. These two transformers were connected to the breakers which I showed you inside no already. So totally we have two transformers. So each transformer is connected to a breaker. Like this transformer is connected to a four breakers and that transformer is connected to the four breakers. So totally we have 8 breakers here which I told you already. So atom consists of proton, neutron and electron which are called as subatomic particles. So we know this proton and neutron which is present inside the nucleus which is at the center of the atom, whereas electrons it revolves around in a different path, it is called as orbits. So number of protons and number of electrons will be equal. So hence there is a strong force of attraction between protons and electrons. So what happens? This electrons now which is present inside the innermost orbit of an atom which is strongly attracted by the proton and hence it is difficult to remove from an atom, whereas the electrons which is present in the outermost orbit, it is loosely bound and it is very easy for us to remove from the atom. So the electron which is present at the innermost orbit of an atom, it is strongly bounded and it is difficult to remove, whereas the outer side, the outermost orbit, the electrons are loosely bound, hence it can be removed easily. Charges or electric charges is a basic property of matter which is carried away by the subatomic particles. So we all know what are the subatomic particles: protons, electrons and neutrons. So we have two type of charges. One is positive charge, another one is negative charge. So proton carries positive charge, whereas negative charges is carried away by electrons. So proton positive charge, electrons negative charge. So like charges will repel each other and unlike charges will attract each other. Like charges means plus plus or minus minus. So those charges will repel each other. Unlike charges in sense plus charge or minus charge, positive or negative. Positive and negative will attract each other like magnets, no? So North Pole will repel each other. North Pole and South Pole will attract each other. So we have two types of charges, positive charge and negative charge. So protons carries positive charge, electron carries negative charges. So like charges repel each other, unlike charges attract each other. Transfer of charges. As I told you earlier, electrons in the innermost orbit are strongly bounded and electrons in the outermost orbit are loosely bounded. So the electron which gains the substance which gains electrons become negatively charged and the electrons which loses electron becomes positively charged. So transfer of charges will take place in three ways. Transfer by friction, transfer by conduction, transfer by induction. So let us see this transfer one by one with a few activities.
When glass rod is rubbed against silk cloth, the glass rod acquires positive charge, while the silk cloth acquires a negative charge. This happens because when a neutral glass rod is rubbed with neutral silk cloth, the energy spent in rubbing is utilized to remove the outermost electron from the atoms. The glass rod loses electrons while rubbing. Due to the deficiency of electrons, the atoms of the glass rod develop positive charge. These electrons are gained by the silk cloth. Due to excess of electrons in the atoms of the silk cloth develops negative charge. Similarly, when ebonite rod rubbed against fur, ebonite rod acquires a negative charge, while the fur acquires a positive charge. Charging by induction. Figure A shows an uncharged metallic sphere supported on an insulating rod. A negatively charged plastic rod is brought close to the sphere. Free electrons in the sphere move away from the plastic rod due to repulsion and gather at the other end of the sphere. The near end becomes positively charged due to the deficit of electrons, and the other end becomes negatively charged due to the excess of electron. When the negative side of the sphere is connected to a conducting wire which is earthed, the electrons flow to the ground, and the positive charge remains there due to the attractive force of the external charge. When the external conductor is removed, the positive charge remains in the sphere, making it a positively charged object. When the plastic rod is removed, the positive charge gets distributed uniformly over the sphere. Similarly, if a positively charged plastic rod is brought closer to a sphere, the free electrons in the sphere will move closer to the plastic rod, and positive charges accumulate at the other end. When a conducting wire which is grounded is connected to the positive end of the sphere, the free electrons from the earth transfer into the sphere and neutralize all the positive charges. When the conductor is removed, the negative charge remains in the sphere, making it a negatively charged object. When the plastic rod is taken away, the negative charge gets distributed uniformly over the sphere. It is to be noted that charge induced on a neutral body is always opposite to that of the charged body inducing the charge.
Charging by conduction. Bodies can be charged by contact, that is, by the method of conduction. By conduction, the body acquires the same charge as on the charging body. Charging a body by conduction can be understood by doing the following activity. Charging a paper cylinder by conduction. Make a paper cylinder by rolling a strip of paper on a pencil and then gently pulling out the pencil. Suspend the paper cylinder by a thread tied to its center. Now, touch the paper cylinder with a glass rod rubbed with silk so it has a positive charge. Remove the glass rod and then again bring it near the paper cylinder. What happens? The paper cylinder is repelled by the positively charged glass rod. Next, bring an ebonite rod rubbed with flannel, negatively charged, near the paper cylinder. What happens this time? We can see that the paper cylinder is attracted by the ebonite rod. This means that the paper cylinder has acquired a positive charge, that is, the same charge as on the glass rod due to conduction. So, it repels with positively charged glass rod and attracts with negatively charged ebonite rod.
Flow of charges. For example, take two metallic spheres. One metallic sphere is having a high negative charge and other metallic sphere is having a high positive charge. So now what we do, we have to connect both the metallic spheres with the help of a metallic wires. Now what happens? The negative charge, the electrons will start flowing towards the positive charge of a metallic sphere, because the flow of charges will always flows from negative charge to positive charge, and this charge will continues. This number of electrons now will keep on moving towards the positive charge till it becomes equal. So positive charge and negative charge will becomes equal. That time only this flow of charges will stop. So the negative charge, it is called as lower potential. The positive charge side, the positive charge, it is called as higher potential. So the flow of charges will take place from lower potential to the higher potential. That is from electrons. Electron is the lower potential. That the positive charge proton is the higher potential. So it starts flowing from lower potential to the higher potential. This is called as flow of electron. This is called as flow of electrons. Next topic, electroscope. So electroscope is a scientific instrument which is used to detect the charges on a body. So the first electroscope was invented by William Gilbert. He is a British physician. So he was a person who invented the first electroscope. So we have two types of electroscopes, pith ball electroscope and gold leaf electroscope. So basically the simple electroscopes were made out of conducting materials like metals. So now let us see the working of a gold leaf electroscope.
Gold leaf electroscope. The gold leaf electroscope was developed in 1787 by a British scientist named Abraham Bennett. So he was a person who has developed this gold leaf electroscope. Gold and silver are used in electroscope because they are the best conductors of electric current. So gold and silver metals are used in the electroscope because they are the best conductors of electric current. Structure of an electroscope. It is made up of glass jar. A vertical brass rod is inserted into the jar through a core. The top of a brass rod has a horizontal brass rod or a brass disc. Two gold leaves are suspended from the brass rod inside the jar. Working of an electroscope. When the brass disc of an electroscope is touched by a charged object, electric charge gets transferred to the gold leaf through the rod. This results in gold leaves moving away from each other. This happens because both the leaves have similar charge. So inside that we have two gold leaves, right? Two gold leaves will have a similar charges. Transfer of charge from one object to another is called charging. So In case of gold leaves, charge is transferred from a brass rod. Electrical discharge. The gold leaves resume their normal position after some time. This happens because they lose their charge. This process is called electric discharge. The gold leaves would also be discharged when someone touches the brass rod with the bare hands. In that case, the charge is transferred to the earth through human body. Lightning and thunder. So now we are going to see how this lightning and thunders are produced. Lightning is produced by discharge of electricity from cloud to cloud or from cloud to ground. During thunderstorm, air is moving upward rapidly. This air, which moves rapidly, carries a small ice crystals upward. At the same time, small water drops move downward. When they collide, ice crystals become positively charged and move upward, and water drops become negatively charged and move downward. So, the upper part of the cloud is positively charged and lower part of the cloud is negatively charged. When they come into contact, electrons in the water drops are attracted by the positive charges in the ice crystal. Thus, electricity is generated and lightning is seen. So, the lower part of the cloud, which is negatively charged, comes into contact with a positive charge accumulated near the mountains, trees, and even people on the earth. So, this discharge produces lot of heat and sparks that results in what we see as lightning. So, huge quantities of electricities are discharged in lightning flashes, and the temperature will be 30,000 degrees Celsius or more than that. This extreme heating causes the air to expand explosively fast and then they contract. This expansion and contraction creates a shock wave that turns into a booming sound wave known as thunder.
Earthing. So it is a process of discharge of electric charges, electric energies directly into the earth with the help of a low resistance wire.
Lightning arresters. Lightning arrestor is a device used to protect buildings from effect of lightning. Lightning conductor consists of a metallic lightning in the form of spikes that remains in air at the top of a building. Major portion of a metal rod and copper cable are installed in the walls during its construction. The other end of the rod is placed deep into the soil. When lightning falls, it is attracted by the metallic rods at the top of the building. The rod provides easy route for transfer of electric charge to the ground. In the absence of lightning arresters, lightning will fall on the building and the building will be damaged.
Electric circuits. So now we are going to see how to connect a simple circuit, how to make a simple circuit. For a basic simple circuit, we need 4 elements. So we need battery, path in sense we need wire to electrons to travel around the circuit, switch and the lamp. So these are the basic items we need to connect a simple circuit. See the battery, bulb, wires and switch. So one terminal of a battery is connected to one end of a bulb, another end of the bulb it is connected to one end of the switch, and other end of the switch it is connected to the battery. So this is the simple circuit. Once you switch on the battery, the bulb close. So this is how the simple circuits were made. So in 2 ways we can connect the circuits. First one is series circuit, another one is parallel circuit. So we have 2 basic ways for connecting our circuits, series circuit and parallel circuits. Series circuit. So we have seen we have 2 types of circuit, series circuit and parallel circuit. So this is how the series circuit connections were made. So in the series circuit, we can connect more resistors like one or two resistors or even 4 to 5 resistors can be connected together. But we will have only one source. The battery source will be one where the electrons will flow in the same path. The electrons will flow in a single path. So this is series circuit. See, this is the voltage. The positive terminal is connected to the one end of the resistor. I mean first voltage. The other end of the resistor, it is connected to the second resistor first pole. So second pole of this end will be connected to the third resistor and this end will be connected to the negative terminal of the battery. Here we have connected only 3 resistors. If we want, we can connect more than 3 or 4 or 5, whatever it is, but the electrons will flow only in the same path. It will not have a branches. So positive terminal will be connected to one end of the resistor, another end is connected here, and this it is here, and again this is how the series circuit will be made. So V is the voltage and I is the current flows through the circuit. So voltage V is equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3. So first resistor plus second resistor plus third resistor. This is how the series connection will be made. Parallel circuit. So we have a parallel circuit which is connected parallelly. Already we have seen the series circuit. It is connected in a single path. The only difference between series and parallel circuit is this connection. These resistors are connected parallelly, whereas in the series circuit it is connected in the single path. So the positive terminal of the battery is connected to 3 resistors here, and this is the second resistor and third resistor. So all 3 resistors were connected individually. So this end of the resistor, the other end of the resistors, it is connected to the negative terminal of the battery. So this is how the parallel connections were made. So I is equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3. So V, whereas V is the voltage and I is the current. So the only difference between series and parallel, it is connected. Here you have 3 different paths. In the series circuit we have only single path. So in the single path electrons will flow accordingly, but in the parallel circuit electrons will flow here, here and here. Like it depends like how many resistors we are connected to the circuit. If you want, we can connect 4 or 5 resistors together as a parallel, but in the 4th resistor again the current will flow. Even in the 5th resistor the current will flow. It depends on the path which we are connecting it.
Difference between series and parallel circuits. Series circuit, same amount of current flows through all the components. Parallel circuit, the current flowing through each component combines to form the current flow. Series circuit, voltage is different across different components. Parallel circuit, sum of the through each component will be the voltage drawn from the source. Components are arranged in a line. Components are arranged parallel to each other. If one component breaks down, the whole circuit will burn out. Other components will function even if one component breaks down. Effects of electric current. When electric current passes through certain conductors, it produces some effect. This effects it is called as electric effects of current. So this effect which may leads to conversion of electrical energy into other energies like mechanical energy, magnetic energy, chemical energy and so on. Now let us see the heating effect of current. Next topic, electroplating. So electroplating is one of the most common applications of chemical effects of electric current. The process of depositing a layer of one metal over the surface of another metal by passing electric current is called electroplating. So take a glass jar, fill it with the copper sulfate solution. The blue color solution only, it is called as copper sulfate solution. Take a copper metal plate and connect it to a positive terminal of the battery. Connect an iron spoon to the negative terminal of the battery. Now dip them in the copper sulfate solution. When electric current is passed through the copper sulfate solution, you will find the thin layer of copper metal is deposited on the iron spoon and an equal amount of copper is lost by the copper plate. So this electroplating is involved in many fields. We use irons in bridges and automobiles to provide strength. So the iron tends to corrode and rust. So the coating of zinc is deposited on iron to protect it from corrosion and formation of the rust. Chromium has a shiny appearance. It does not corrode. So it resists scratches. Heating effect of electric current. So heating effect of electric current can be seen in many devices. Some of them are fuse, electric cookers, electric kettles and electric irons. So first let us see how this fuse works. Fuse is a stripe of alloy wire which is made up of lead and tin with a very low melting point. This can be connected to the circuit. The fuse is actually designed to take a specific amount of current. When current passing through the wire exceeds the maximum limit, it gets heated up. Due to low melting point, it melts quickly, disconnecting the circuit. This prevents the damage to the appliances. Electric cookers. Electric cookers turn red hot when current is passed through the coil. The heat energy produced is absorbed by a cooking pot through conduction. Kettles. The heating element is placed at the bottom of a kettle which contains water. The heat is then absorbed by the liquid and then distributed throughout the liquid by convection. Electric irons. When current flows through the heating element, the heat energy developed is conducted to the heavy metal base, raising its temperature. So this energy is then used to press clothes.